Yo, Jayson, how we living, man?
I'm feeling great, sir. Great, feeling great.
Man, it's good to stumble upon you. I know we walked in on you working hard. I think you was like on round 8, 9, or 10, but you was saying you was doing like 17.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But we gonna get further into the grind once we get start this interview. But real quick, tell me your name, where you from. Let everybody know a little bit about you, real quick.
My name is Jayson Russell. I'm a pro boxer, 5-0, 3 knockouts, straight out of Atlanta, Georgia, on the west side, zone 4. You dig what I'm saying? And also, hey, I'm an all-around athlete, man. I'm an amateur golfer. Also, I do Hapkido as well at Grandmaster Moreland's gym in College Park. But my number one skill set is gonna always be boxing. Yes, sir.
You said golf.
Yes, sir.
See,
Been doing this since I was 4 years old.
I think that's the misconception that they have about us sometimes. We cultured, we boxing, we golfing. That's a hell of a skill to have. But we here on boxing. We here on boxing business. Real quick, at what point did you decide to turn pro, and what steps led you to going pro? You could have stayed amateur. You could have stayed just doing it for fun. What made you go pro though?
Well, I turned pro in 2023 in November, and what made me go pro was right around, I'm gonna say about June or July of my third Golden Gloves. After that decision in the championship, I decided, you know what, it's time for me to go pro. I was already ready, but I just didn't want to rush the process. I want to get much experience as possible, especially doing tournaments. That was the most key goal. And also, I had in between injuries and stuff like that, so it was the best for me to go right then and there. But one step at a time. And then once I went pro, the best experience ever was I had my mom and dad, just family in general, they get to watch me fight. It was on Veterans Day down at the atrium, and it was on November 11th. I'll never forget it. And I knocked the guy out in the second round with the right hand. I still got that posted on Instagram. Yep.
We're gonna get your Instagram
Yes,
handle
sir.
too, so we can check that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pro aspect of things, what was that first pro fight like though? That very first one. Literally walk me through it.
Preparing for it, it was pretty good. I'll say like most important thing I say is you prepare all this stuff, like people being nervous and all the thing. I learned that in the amateurs, so I was already mentally and physically ready for it. And once I get like to a week out, that's when I really lock in. Like, okay, it's time to go to war, because I'm already putting myself at high risk just in general. No matter anything happen, and eating right, make sure. By me, if I'm 10 pounds or 7, 8 pounds away on a Monday, I know I'm good. I'm already, but you should always be in shape and always have a certain type of weight where you know how your body is. 'Cause everybody's body is different. You got some people cut 20, 30 pounds to get down in weight. I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying in general.
You don't want to weight bully nobody.
Uh, what's funny about it, actually, I mean, if you can make the weight and gain that much weight back in 24 hours, it ain't like the old days where you weigh in that morning and fight that night. That's how dangerous it was, because people don't hydrate properly back then. But now you got a whole 24 hours. So I can gain 15, 20 pounds in one day off of hydrating. Especially, my uncle, he does everything. He's a nutritionist, all this stuff. So eating the right food, steak, potatoes, and veggies, always eat your greens, man, and Pedialyte. You know what I'm saying? He makes his own alkaline water and makes his own beet juice for your blood flow, clean your system out. And I'm telling you, man, you feel great when you do that. And mainly, like you were saying, was what got me there. Preparing for the fight, wasn't even nervous and nothing. I was just ready to go. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even think about it. It was just straight tunnel vision. To get straight to it, the little ring walk, warming up. I warmed up a little bit, but once my uncle wrapped my hands and I felt it, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm knocking somebody out. I'm getting ready. I'm already in that zone." Now, I've learned from experience from amateur. That's why I say it's best to do as much amateur fighting as possible, because you get to learn yourself. Because you can have adrenaline dump, you can get tired, you can need to work on your technique, like I was just doing on the bag, like hard training with the 2-pound hand weights, stuff like that. Straight shoulder endurance, straight footwork drill. Most important, footwork drills all day. And then conditioning. I don't care how good, powerful, skill set, defense. If you don't got no cardio, I done seen crazy sorry people with great stamina beat the best fighter all day. But anyway, like I was saying, I prefer doing all those things, and especially most importantly, be a listener, not a follower. And whatever your coach tell you to do, just do it. If they tell you need to work on this, I don't like no yes man. You know what I'm saying? I prefer you to tell me up front. If I not to do it out in the third round, my uncle or my dad would be like, "You should have knocked him out in the first round if you had did this right here." I like to hear that, you know. I don't want nobody to beat around the bush. You look great. Yeah, that's cool, but you need to get back to work because you didn't do what we worked on.
It's always
You know,
room to get
it's-
better.
Exactly. That's what pushed you to keep going, you know. Until it's all said and done, multiple titles, money, whatever, you know, family, you know, but most importantly, health is wealth, you know what I'm saying? I care about that the most. But while I was in the ring and all that stuff, um, very patient, very patient. Took my time. I was not in the rush. I had to fill them out, and still to this day, that was like one of the hardest punchers I ever faced. And being real, and that the first thing I studied everything, even doing that way. I studied structure and see how you build. Okay, this guy's compact. This dude's big. The first thing I saw with his man's hands, I was like, good God. I said, yeah, this dude not gonna hit me with those. That's the first thing I said. But you know, once you become a fighter, you gotta become a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And it takes steps to that level.
Yeah, and to touch on that one, it's always a question I've always had is like, is it more so how someone ability to take pain, or because you're gonna get punched regardless, but like, how does going against like a heavy puncher like that, where you can obviously say, nah, he punches hard and he's hitting you, how are you taking that? How are you able to take that?
That's why I say conditioning is more important. You got to put your body through hell in training camp to where before if you put your that's why I say I rather get my butt whooped in training than in the fight. If you do that, I'm telling you, your confidence is gonna be up here. Then on top of that, your adrenaline is totally on a whole nother level when you're in the fight. In sparring, all that stuff, you got headgear, so your body is being tricked to where it's protected, but it's really not. So it's really not fully protective of how you think it's going to go. But anyway, like I was saying was, if you put your body through hell in training camp and train extremely hard, where you know you're not going to do this many rounds. Like if I'm doing, like starting off, you got 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 and 12. But I'm about to go to 6 rounds now. You should always do 12 or better.
Yeah.
Always. Even if you're not even doing 12 rounds yet, you need to always prepare yourself to do that. Even if you're doing 4 rounds. Because if you're doing 4 to 6 rounds, 8 rounds, you should be going straight through that like it's nothing.
You rather overtrain than undertrain?
I don't believe in overtrain, but I do believe in resting your body. That's the most important. My dudes taught me that one. Because I used to just go so hard every day, and you can work extremely hard, and your body don't function perform how it's supposed to perform. So that's why I say it's especially eat green food, man. You got to.
Did you start out at Slaughterhouse, or did you come to Slaughterhouse?
I came to Slaughterhouse.
You came from
I started
Slaughterhouse.
off at Independent MMA Fitness back in 2016, but my first time ever walking into the gym was 2015 in that August. I had a friend of mine after football season going to my junior year. So what he did was it was me, him, my other friend Steve, and his pops brought us to this gym called MMA and Fitness up in McDonough. And first time meeting them coaches, and we just went off right then and there at the beginning of 2016 in January 11th. I'll never forget that day. And my first day there, I went straight to sparring on a Saturday. It was crazy. And then I thought I was doing good and everything until that following Monday. I sparred, never forget this dude, I sparred a man named Burley, and that guy right there, at that time, you gotta remember, for my size, at that weight is extremely huge. At that time I was 5'10", 138 pounds. And that's very huge for that weight class. And all of them, it was a mixed martial arts gym mixture. It's known for boxing as well, but it was more of mixed martial arts than anything. And I'd say that was the best experience I ever had in my life. Still to this day, I had to overcome a lot of stuff just growing up from childhood, just in general. And that guy right there pushed me to a whole nother level. And then later on, of course, Coach E, Coach Chad, all them guys taught me, especially Chad, he taught me everything from the fundamentals, and then E put me on with the footwork. And then later on, my day one coach later on became G. Always been there. Coach G been there since day one as well. He the one helped start off the gym, you know. And by that, I ran into Coach Talib. He the one started off my whole amateur career. He was also my pro debut coach as well. And then after that, I ended up going back to my old coach, my day one coach, Coach G, from the beginning since I was 16 years old. And we just been on it right then and there. Everything that Coach E taught me is the same exact thing that Coach G is telling me right now, because he taught him when he was a kid. So all he did was, I just went back to the source. That's all I did from the jump. So that's what got me right. And That's all I can say on that one. It's the best experience ever. But also, most importantly, the reason why I boxed because I kept the promise with a close friend of mine. He's a type 2 diabetic, and he's my age, but he could no longer play football. And I had some little difficulties. I'm very honest. I had school problems, so I had to get my stuff together. And once I got back right, I was perfect. But right then and there, I fell in love with boxing, so I just stuck with it. I'm the type of person, I gotta stay busy. I gotta stay doing some activity. I love staying in shape. So once I did that, it was on in there. And later on, I don't have no excuses on that, but it was the best experience. I'm glad it happened. I had my first amateur fight. I dominated, but it didn't go so well. And I decided not to perform how I wanted to perform and do the things that I wanted to do. And then I had to learn from that. And then that was like overcoming like a fear of mine at the time. That's why I say, most importantly, I got tired, I'm very honest. Got tired and I had adrenaline dump. I never experienced that before, but it's a life learning lesson. That's why I say amateurs is most important in this game. Cardio is king, you know, Coach E is always telling me that. So that's why I always push so hard on conditioning myself to be the best as I can, to beat the best, you know. Win titles, championships, of course, everybody want to go undisputed, you know.
Yeah.
But that was most important. And once I got that ball rolling and I started winning consecutively, my amateur record, I only have 26 wins and 5 losses. And I won Golden Gloves one time. I also went to Nationals back in 2019, but they ended up rescheduling in 2020. That's when they had to shut down. So I said, I'm not going in Louisiana because a lot of people got sick during that time, and I didn't want to put my parents at high risk.
Yeah.
So I decided to sit back on that one. And then on top of that, I also had a rib injury on that too, but I done been through a lot. I done broke my hand, my ribs, and all that stuff. But I pushed through it, won fights in between that too as well. But that's what got me where I'm at today, you know.
Yeah.
But once that COVID stuff ended, shutdown ended, I got right back to it. But that was, to me, I'm being honest with you, that was the best in shape that I ever had because we had to shut down. I was still working, which was crazy because everybody else wasn't, but my job had to keep me working. I was working 2 jobs at a time, living on my own, doing my thing. So that was very, very hard to do back then. And I was still staying dedicated, coming to the gym. Well, training in the garage and stuff like that. You couldn't really go to the gym, to be honest with you. So that's why I say that was the best training because I had all day to train. That's why I say a lot of guys don't understand. My uncle called it the B-side of fighters, even though I'm undefeated with 3 knockouts, 5-0, 3 knockouts. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of B-side fighters, some of them, that's why I said the best experience I ever had was my pro debut. I studied I put me in the B-side locker room. They didn't put me in the A-side with my friends that I knew. They put me on that side, and I studied every last one of the guys that I knew that I was going to lose. A lot of them had personal problems. Some of them had kids. Some of them had, you know, didn't grow up with nothing, so they needed the money and all this stuff like that. And I saw how they move. But most importantly, what's your routine? What do you do? How do you prepare before you get in the ring? Do you go to sleep? Do you lay down? Do you listen to music? Me, I don't do none of that. I just go straight to sleep and lay down, just rest. I don't even think about the fight.
Chill.
I just chill. I don't even think about the fight. And then once it's time to get ready, prepare for war, before I get my hands right, I always listen to Summer Madness. I don't know why. I just love the bass and the music. I just listen to that the whole hour. It's like an hour-long track, not without them singing or nothing like that. I just like to hearing the music, the band playing the whole time. And it's like a meditation to me, and it just prepared me for war. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta listen to no gangster rap, none of that. I don't like that. I don't like to be amped. I like to be very calm and cool, collected. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of feeds into that adrenaline dump in a way. If you like amping yourself up hour, 2 hours before you're supposed to fight.
That's why everybody's different. That's why I tell people when you're a fighter, you should be sitting down. You should be laying down. You should not even be like even in amateur shows. Like I learned that from a coach of mine. He said, don't even go to the ring and watch other people fight because you're gonna get amped. You know what I'm saying? You amping yourself or you having a fight before the fight. That's what he used to always say. You don't even know. You can be chilling, but you just moving, you just jumping, slipping, and think, well, so I would do this, I would have did this.
You doing oohs and ahs.
You overexciting yourself before the fight even happens, and then you trying to go out there and do the same thing that they even did. And you know what I'm saying? You forgot all about the plan that you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people don't even do that. Have a routine where you can relax and just chill. You know.
Pro boxing. People think of, I'm going pro. I'm gonna be like Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna be like Javante Tank Davis. They think the minute they launch and say they're going pro, they're making it. What is the day in, day out of being a pro boxer that people aren't thinking about, people don't know, the unsexy side of it?
The most important thing that I always talk about is, now you got some guys that start off boxing, of course, 8 years old, 9. It depends on where you're coming from, because we're from the South, so it's not really known for boxing unless you're in Florida or Texas. But besides that point, if you have a big amateur background and you you have a promotion that signs you, or you go to a nationals or Olympics or anything, then you got a big possible chance of getting signed to a big promotion, and they pay for your opponents and they prepare you and build you up to the top. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys, fans don't understand that. So what I'm doing is the same thing, but I'm coming out of my pocket. So I got to go to work and save up and invest and do all these other things, travel. My uncle even also helping out. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I always get here in the world, get my parents being supportive, helping me out, give me the opportunity to even do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying that for the longest. Like I was saying, was the B side. You have to, like, I have full-blown arguments with people where they be like, why you ain't signed? Why you ain't doing this? Why ain't this and that? People don't understand that a lot of people are so quick to take hard fights so early and not really ready for it. You get what I'm saying? If you got to work and you training too, and these guys are in the gym, they ain't got to do nothing else, and they got promoters
All day, every day.
and they promoters paying for their opponents, paying you, whatever, B-side, whatever, paying you to come out there and fight them. You got to remember, this is real. People don't understand. This is very real. You're fighting the opponent, the referee, and the judges. And a lot of people don't get where I'm coming from if you're on the B side, because they like, oh, I paid you, so whatever happens, it happens. It's gonna go to the A side. But unless you knock them out, I've literally been there to other states. I'm not gonna say other states, but I done been there to where I've seen. Luckily, he won. My teammate won. Literally knocked the guy down. I mean, rocked the dude all the way across the ring. And he had to hit him 20-some times for the referee to call the fight. He jumping in and out to see if he's gonna stop it or not, trying to give the A side a chance to come back.
Kind of like breaking it a little bit, giving him a little second.
Give him a little second to recover and all that stuff. I'm like, oh wow, trying to make the A side come back and win the fight. But thank God he won the fight. My teammate won the fight, and that's why I've been trying to explain to people, when it's time to take that shot, that chance, I prefer being at the top level where we both coming up at the same time. Wherever our opponent coming up, we trying to get signed. Cool, I'm down with that. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And you build yourself up preparing for that, because a lot of guys really, it's levels to this. You can be really, really great, but it's certain small things that these guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? Nutritionists, the best sparring partners, the best coaches. They traveling around the whole United States getting paid while they doing this too. While I got to go to work and then tired 10-hour, 12-hour shifts and trying to get up to go straight to the gym, put 2-3 hours in, and then try to go back, lay down, and go to work. That's extremely hard. That's why, and you putting so much toll on your body, wherever job you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't respect that. That's why I say it's basically a journey, man. You know what I'm saying? Be very patient. If the like we've been saying before, stick to the game plan. If the game plan is working, I'm sticking with it. I don't care how long it takes, because you never know. Everybody's watching. Deion Sanders been saying that for the longest. Keep grinding. Everybody's watching. Trust me. And once they see me on my page, of course, when people watch my page, I mess around, I might not have that many, well, all of a sudden you got 50, 60,000 people viewing your page all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? I got opponents, I got fighters close to my weight watching my shit, you know what I'm saying? Watching my stuff, excuse my language, but watching me and everything, I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, it's something about, like, it's not like how it used to be back in the day. Back in the day, you couldn't find no film on the opponent. The only thing you can do is look at their resume and see who they fought. And if you got money, or if they fight in the States, you go to the fight and watch them right then and there. If not, then you just fighting the guy, just fighting them. You know what I'm saying? Now, guys, you can look on social media, you can see them. You be like, oh, they see this man playing golf, this man doing karate, hapkido, this man playing baseball too. What? And he traveling, and now he in pro boxing too. When they see that and you active, doing everything, they don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being honest.
He balancing too much and he doing good at it.
You can be average at these sports. It don't matter. They see you being consistent of doing something and you working too on top of that. They're like, God dang.
Perception,
like,
man.
This dude is something serious. Like, coaches, like, it's not that you're scared, it's just how being smart, because the most importantly, even if you win, like I step up and win the big fights and stuff early in my career, you putting chinks in your armor before you get to the title fights, championships, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You beat these contenders. You want to build yourself to get to that point, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys so quickly to take them right then and there, and they don't be prepared for it, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what goes on. You need a full 6 to 8 weeks real training camp, just you in the gym, once you go against these type of guys, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's important to build yourself up and get to your point to where when it's time to take those, challenges, you already prepared, mentally focused and ready for it. Because right now, I still got a lot to work on. And you can tell my uncle that right now. He can tell you that I got a lot to work on. Like even after my last performance, it was like one of my toughest fights. He said, yeah, you got a lot to work on. You might have did what you're supposed to do, weather the storm, whatever case may be, but you still stay technical, wherever. But it's a lot of important things that you need to work on. And I've been strictly focused on that every day. Forget about sparring. Forget about all these other things. Most importantly, footwork and conditioning. Working on the most fundamentals and basics. Staying technical, you know what I'm saying? Technique is the most important. But when you're tired, that's the first thing that goes if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
That's why I say when you're in shape, anybody, you're highly confident. I don't care what you do. That's why I tell people that all the time. When I'm in shape, I don't care what you do. If I can move and throw 1,000 punches for 12 rounds, I can do it. I can do whatever I want to you. I don't care. As long as I'm in shape, I can do what I want to you. That's how I look at it. That's how I program myself. I don't care how hard you hit, how fast you hit, I'm smart. So if you faster than me or stronger than me or whatever, I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it. I'm not the type of person to try to beat you in your own game. Whatever works for me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If I got a great jab, I'm gonna hit you with a jab all day. I don't care if you try to jab my shoulder, punch me in my arm. I'm gonna jab it all day and hit you with the right hand. Left hook. You know what I'm saying? Break you down biceps, of course, most importantly.
You hit it with that stamina piece too, because we were watching the undercards yesterday for the fight, and it was big old dude. You could tell he was just big old dude, and I was like, oh, he gonna, they gonna lay him out. Round 3, 4 go by, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, if his gas tank keep up, he might win the fight. Like he not nowhere near as technically savvy as the other person was or anything, but other buddy was getting tired. I was like, hey, he messed around, he gonna win it, but neither here nor there. My next question I want to give to you though is when you are in the ring, right? I feel like I've seen this sometimes where, one, do you hear the crowd at all when you're fighting?
To be honest, this sounds crazy, but no, not really. If you're really, really locked in, like tunnel vision, only person I hear is my uncle. Like that deep voice, step over, automatically right hand. I already know what's going on. That's the craziest thing. Like when you so locked in, I ain't even hearing the crowd. It's the crazy. You might hear 2 or 3 people that you know or something like that, but majority of the time when it's loud, especially my first fight, when it was packed and it was loud, I didn't even hear it after I knocked the guy out. Like doing that whole time, I didn't hear it. Even on breaks, even on the rest, in between, I didn't hear nobody but my coach talking to me.
Yeah.
Which would sound crazy, but when you've been training for so long, you learn how to block everything out and focus on who's in front of you.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes you see dudes try to cater to the crowd as far as like you were saying, sticking to the game plan. This is what this is what's working. Sticking with that. You hit them with the jab and it's cool. It may be boring to other people who may not know boxing for real, and they're like, he just jabbing, he just moving, he just dabbing.
Right.
And then sometimes I feel like the crowd starts oohing and ahhing, or like, you may be on somebody's home turf and they get you one good time. It didn't even hurt at all, but the crowd like, ooh, and now you like, oh.
Right.
I got to haymaker him now, getting out of the game plan. Do you feel like that plays a part sometimes, or you?
Yes and no, but when it comes to that situation, like I said before, you stick to the game plan. Don't even try to. You get your get back by resetting and getting. It depends on the situation if you're hurt or not. You know what I'm saying? You just don't jump in and get back to him, because sometimes that can be a bait. If I catch you one time and you try to jump in, oh, I see he like to jump in when I catch him. That means he getting mad. So now I got another setup for him. You know what I'm saying? And I already know him on it. He gonna try to tell me to lean over, hit him with the 5-2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always setups and certain stuff like that. That's why you knock yourself out, you walk into something, especially if I'm throwing a punch. If I ain't throwing it that hard, that's why a lot of fans be like, he didn't hit him that hard. Yes, he did. It don't take much. It only take 3 pounds of pressure. Some people say 5. It really take 3 pounds of pressure.
I didn't know that.
But it really hurts somebody. That's why the most important, you need to learn how to place your punches, know how to throw them correctly, and also know how to be very technical when you're tired. That's why I say conditioning is extremely important. Footwork is the #1 defense before anything. I know your hands can be down. Sugar Ray Leonard had his hands down, but he had his feet moving 15 rounds straight.
Yep.
If I'm moving my feet, you can't, and you trying to plant and land the right hand or land the left hand, you can't land it. You can't hit it. You can't hit the target that's moving all the time. And it's hard, especially feints, keeping your hands out, blocking punches, stuff like that. That's most important. But like I said before, when you said about when you come to crowd and stuff, I don't even entertain that unless I'm getting off. Now, if I got the upper hand and I'm beating the hell out of him and he's bleeding wherever, he can't do nothing about it, then okay, cool. But I'm always cautious. I'm always aware of what's going on. If he ain't down on the ground, I'm always looking because a lot of guys, they brace and train themselves to cover up and try to hit you with a haymaker. You know what I'm saying? Always keep your range, always keep your composure, always control the center of the ring. Most importantly, like my mom was just saying earlier when we was in the ring, always stay control of everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Never, most importantly, what I hate the most with fighters, I don't care if you're tired or in shape, stay off the ropes. Mayweather only does it for a split second. He don't sit there for like a whole round.
And I feel like that's a setup sometimes. He's trying to really lure you into something, really.
But if he ain't going, get off the ropes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's just being lazy. You know what I'm saying? And plus, your feet are plant. You ain't really moving nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I can just pin you on the ropes or pin you to the wall. I ain't even got to put you in the corner. I can just set you up, and then wherever side I want you to go to, that's where I'm going to knock you out at. I'm just highly confident in what I do. If not, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you're in the wrong sport if you're not confident, though. This is not a sport I feel like you can be like, I'm decent. I might be.
You can't play boxing. I tell people that all the time. Today's society has changed because you got rappers, celebrities coming to boxing.
Yeah.
They fight each other, but once they fight a real fighter, and they really know, but since they can get so much money fighting another rapper, make more money than fighters like me, that really come to train and they get money, which is crazy to me. I mean, do your thing, man, get your money, but hey, it ain't fair to us.
Yeah.
But cause we really put in the work. You know what I'm saying? We the one broken nose, broken bones, bleeding everywhere, training, get to this point to really perform. And what I hate the most when it comes to fighters is when guys accomplish so much, like Crawford, and he been doing this since he was 8 years old, and people get mad at seeing him retiring. See, most important, you retire in your own time. Don't let the fans retire you. You know what I'm saying? They want to see you go down so bad. Oh, he should have retired then, but when I wanted to retire, I said it was too early. This man, 37 years old. I've been doing this for 10 years. People don't understand how long 10 years is of boxing just in general. You know what I'm saying?
On your body.
Like you literally getting punched in the face and body. That ain't fun. No. Like you gotta train yourself for that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a game too where, no one's really checking up on you when your health like when you do retire and your health is ain't nobody looking to pay your medical bills. They just moving on to the next fighter. So it's like, why are you kind of catering your health?
That's why when fans be getting mad, why they don't make these big fights to come on? Well, it's most importantly, I don't care what people say, boxing. It's all about getting your money. If you're gonna take this high risk, you better make sure because anything can happen in a fight. So I want to make sure my family is straight. If I'm gonna fight this killer, we both killers. I gotta make sure the money right, everything fall in place. If anything happens, my family's straight for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna give me no chump change to go to war, and then I gotta fight a couple more years just to get close to where I want to, where I can sit back and relax. You know what I'm saying? And retire on. Like, no, man. Like, when they come to mega fights, it takes time. It took Floyd and Pacquiao 10 years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just don't happen overnight.
And they made buku money waiting all that time, too.
Exactly. Just happening overnight. Like, no, that's not how it goes. Yeah. Now you see some big fights happen quickly, in a year span or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But it takes time, Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it just, you got to prepare for them type of fights. Yeah. Because you know what I'm saying? Because anything can happen. Even if you win, like I said before, you can put chinks in your armor for a next big fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Damage now.
Exactly.
I didn't ask you this. We should have asked at the beginning real quick. What division are you in?
Oh, my middleweight, 160.
Okay. You plan on jumping up anytime soon? You going to ride
No, right now, my goal is to stay at 160, like Marvin Hagler and them. That's the goal. Okay. And win titles there, man, for now. Okay. That's the goal. And see how it plans out and then work my way up. Right now, stay in this weight class.
All right. I know I've been holding you for a second, so I really did. I got just 2 questions for you. Coach, we got 2 questions and we out of here. We talked about this with some people in the gym. I want to get your perspective of it, especially being on the scene in the state. How do you feel about the state of professional boxing in Georgia right now?
It's slowly on the rise. My dog Brian Norman Jr., Najee Lopez. You know what I'm saying? These are world champions. One is at 147, the other one's at light heavyweight 175. You know what I'm saying? They put it on the map how it's supposed to be. But I wish that guys like Holyfield, Larry Holmes, and all these other guys that's from Georgia, and even Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest fighters of all time, one of them, that's from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They from the country though, but you know Vernon Forrest, all these guys. If they had stayed here and made mega fights down here, like Gervonta Davis was doing in the beginning until they changed it, I wish they had more fights down here to where it would have turned it into a boxing state. Because we really just known for football and basketball. And still to this day,
We some monsters in football.
We some monsters in football and basketball and, you know what I'm saying, baseball. But right now, of course, you know, baseball dominating. You know what I'm saying? But, and of course, college football. But like I was saying, was that I wish they had done that years ago. We won't be in this position. Like, if you look at Philly or DMV or New York or whatever, or Texas or California, all these states, first thing they do is, first sport they going to put in their hands is a boxing glove. I don't care if they didn't go pro or not. Their mama, their daddy, their uncle, somebody boxed in their family. All of them got hands. Down here, they put a football in their hand. And what's crazy to me is, I get back to the other questions. What's crazy to me is, you got parents who get their kids, football don't last that long. I'll say this right here. Martial arts lasts forever. You don't gotta be professional all your life, but martial arts stay forever. And it builds character, and not only that, it keeps you in shape, and it keep your mindset like of discipline, of just how you see things just in a crowd full of people. Your mindset's totally different from another athlete to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see straight through people, and your confidence on a whole nother level because you know how to fight. But it's not, you're not gonna come out. People think that you become a fighter, oh, you really badass, you mad, oh, I'm gonna bully people, whoop their ass. No,
You're actually calmer.
It calms you down. It's the totally opposite. Like, yeah,
because you know what you're capable of doing.
I'm afraid of myself. I'm like, nah, you got it. You big and bad. You got it. I ain't gonna fool with you. I remove myself. And what's great about it, if you're disciplined, me, I don't smoke nor drink. So for a long time,
that's good.
I did before, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
But I don't smoke nor drink, and I just keep my body clean. And some people, even on their off time when they train, they still do it. I'm gonna drink a little bit. Nah, me, my favorite fighter of all time always been Andre Ward. I read his book. He said this the most. Man, the most important is take care of your body, because it come back on and it backfires. If you drink alcohol and you mess up your liver, even if you drink a little bit, just in general, and you're in a fight, and me, knowing me, and I like to hit the body, and you like to drink, yeah. People don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
They don't see the things. You're weakening your organs when you're doing that, especially if you're a heavy drinker. Oh, I'm a heavy drinker, then when it's time to fight, I clean myself out for 6 to 8 weeks and get ready for a fight. Nah, that ain't gonna work.
That ain't how liver damage work.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a little bit more than 6 to 8 weeks.
Exactly. They be looking at it like it's gonna happen overnight, but you know what I'm saying? But most importantly, eat healthy. Don't get me wrong now, I eat bad here and there, but I train extremely hard. I work out every day.
I feel like eating and drinking are a little different.
Yeah, it's
too.
a little different.
I give you 6 to 8 weeks to get off a cheesburger.
Right.
I mean,
right. But
you're talking about 80 proof liquor.
Right.
Like, that's different.
And a lot of people, they be drinking heavy. I'm like,
yeah.
And you an athlete? It's like, that's why I be telling people, like basketball players, I see them, or NFL players, they do the same thing. They drink and smoke. It's totally different.
They get away with that.
They get away with it. It's different smoking and running up and down the court. That's totally different compared to fighting.
In football, what? Maybe at the most,
and you got
8 to 10 seconds, maybe the longest play.
And you got timeouts and all this stuff. I said, ain't no time on the boxing match.
If you a corner on the strong side and they go to the weak side, you got to play off.
Exactly.
And boxing, it's you
all day. And then what's crazy about it, and what I love about individual sports, is up to me to win.
Yep.
You can't point the finger. You can't drop no pass. None of that. So it's on you.
Yeah.
Coach, you can have the best coach, the best training, whatever. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, or do what you said, you know what I'm saying, and you don't perform well, that's on you. It's all on you. That's what I love about this game, man. Like, it's all on you when you're doing this. You can't point the finger or nothing like that. It's up to you, and all the lights is on you. That's the most important thing. That's why I say it. Don't get me wrong, it's still a team sport.
Yeah.
But still, you made it happen.
Except for the team until you get into the ring. Like my favorite comeback I heard somebody say when all the trash talking was going on in the press conference, and their team was talking trash, and they said, "What'd you feel about his coach saying this, that, and the third?" He said, "Only he can fight for him."
Right. Exactly.
He said he can't jump in the ring and fight for him.
One of my favorite lines is, I always tell people, I can lead you there, but I can't hold your hand while you're in there. I've been saying that for the
Yeah.
longest. I mean, I could teach you everything, all the tricks, whatever. I ain't no hater. If I see somebody that we might not communicate, whatever, but you're good at this right here, teach me, bro. I don't care if I got to pay you.
Yeah.
If you got the best footwork in the game, I want to see that. I need to show me how to do that,
Yeah.
and I just work on it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I need to work on it or anything, how you slipping, how you countering. You know what I'm saying? I want to better myself. And a lot of people not bold enough or man enough to even do that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I care about.
2 more questions for you. Back onto the Georgia scene, which you touched on it a lot, which is a lot of the people who have the influence, the power and the influence to bring boxing here more. What else makes Georgia a boxing state? I feel like we have some of the best boxers. I feel like we have some of the best.
What's crazy, we really do, especially in the amateurs, man. The Lewis brothers, we got some guys that's in Morehouse right now. They one of them from Presbyterian, Alabama, actually. I forgot his name, but him and his pops, they doing their thing. They nationals, and my other guy, the 2 brothers down in LaGrange, they top amateurs 1-on-1 nationals at 152. But man, we got a lot of talent. You know, it's just like I said before, man. When some of them got opportunities to get signed, some of them don't. So a lot of them put themselves in a situation where they quick to take a paycheck or fight on TV and fight an elite guy. Like I said before, you might be getting all these nationals and all this other stuff, but you're fighting the same guys in the South. A lot of times these guys don't really travel outside the state and get that real good work in these real boxing gyms, you know.
With somebody you don't know.
You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Instead of fighting the same guys you grew up with, that ain't nothing compared to these killers that's doing this day by day. When they got coaches as world champions or fighters that they train with as world champions right now fighting, they training with them.
Yeah.
So like I said before, I train with Brian Norman and Najee and all these guys, and these guys boost my confidence up to a whole nother level because their type of training is insane. Like my boy John, this dude trained like he ain't got no job, you know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say, just saw John a few
He
days ago, see him
crazy.
again. I'm like, damn,
Like
John,
this
Sunday.
is non-stop, you know what I'm saying? You know, like most important, like you got people that come in, like me, I'm old school. If I see somebody work, I'm getting right to it. I'm not finna sit still and not finna just do nothing, you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody cleaning up a house. Hey, your parents clean up the garage or whatever, and they sweeping up, and you don't get no dustpan. You just watch them clean up the whole house, and you sitting in the bed laying around. Yeah, my parents went across my head on that one.
Yeah.
They don't play that, but you know, just simple stuff like that, man. If you really want it bad enough, like this sport is extremely dangerous. See, I've been through a lot, especially in training, sparring, all that stuff like that. It made me think about it, of how dangerous this sport can be. That's why I train so hard, because this ain't nothing to play with. Because one coach told me one time, I put on some 8-ounce gloves, I think it was 10 ounce, 1 or 2, and it was way before I turned pro. I said, man, like I can break some shit with these. He said, yeah, just remember, them bitches come right back at you. I said, and I had to think about it. I said, oh, snap. So when you sparring or whatever, the gloves are bigger, so it's easy to block punches, catch, slip and roll. You got headgear. When you wear those smaller gloves, it's easy to punch through. So you gotta really move your head, move your feet, and do what you need to do. So all those shots that you normally block and catch and all this stuff, and sparring or whatever, it ain't the same when you're in that fight. So all it takes is one. That's why I say defense is more important, footwork and conditioning. I always say that.
My last question for you is a dual question.
Yes, sir.
If somebody brand new walking through them doors right now, so first part of the question, somebody brand new walking through these doors right now, and they walk up to you, they see you training, and they like, I want to go pro. What do I need to do? What's one piece of advice? And then what's some final words?
Depending on the age, if they're young teenager or a kid or whatever. Oh, maybe, well, if they adult or almost about to be adult and they want to go pro or they already adult, most importantly I would tell them is you need to get with one of the coaches and also work on fundamentals first. We got to see what you're about first. We're not going to just jump and throw you in an amateur fight. Because you got to remember, once you in our gym or any gym, you're representing us or representing other gym. Because you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to show the fans or show your parents or whoever that supports you that you BSing. You don't look right. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make you sharp as possible. So most importantly, you get as much amateur experience as possible, and then when it's time, when the coaches, not you, when the coaches tell you you're ready, that's when it's time for you to go pro. But also, like I said before, you got to have the work ethic. Pro is totally different from amateurs. Amateurs is fast paced for 3 rounds, 3 minute rounds. It was 2 minutes, now it's 3 minutes. Pros, 4 rounds all the way up to 12. and it's a very slow pace, but it can be picked up at any time, at any given moment. All that fast pace, all that stuff. Pros, we time that.
This is a build.
It's a build. It's slow process. It don't take much. While you waste all that energy and I hit you with one shot,
Over with.
over with. You see what I'm
You
saying?
come out the gate 3 rounds strong in the pro fight.
Right.
You still we got a while to go.
Exactly. So that's why it's been very important, you know. But like I was saying, it's very important to get as much experience in the amateur, especially in the South. If you're in the South, do as much tournaments as you can. You need to travel. Sometimes I know it's hard. I'm being honest, because you got some coaches don't have the resources or money to travel a lot with their fighters to do other things. That's why I'm grateful to have a coach that's willing to do that, or even put themselves in situations to do that. That's why I give him, you know, the almighty, you know, especially my parents give me the opportunity to do these things, like I said before, to do these things. And to get more experience, like you were saying earlier, you get all this experience around the states or even out of the country, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But to me, my understanding, doing tournaments helps you a lot better than local shows, unless you upstate or Midwest or whatever, or West Coast.
Yeah.
But down south, do tournaments if possible, because you got to weigh in, like old school, you weigh in that morning, you fight that evening, or a couple hours later on, just like your wrestling tournament or whatever case may be. And if you're in nationals, you fight 5. If you're really good, you're going to fight 4 to 5 times, sometimes 7 times in 1 week, fight the whole week. And you got to weigh back in the same every day. So that's extremely hard. You put in the toll on your body. So that's why I say, when it comes to amateurs, like me, I fought in the bigger weight class. I fought at that time I was small, but I'll build up to that. We got to grow into the weight class. I finally grew up to my weight class at 160. So me, I try to maintain my weight 175, no heavier than 15, 20 pounds. But I got up to 185 before. I'm not doing it no more, but I'm just saying I try to maintain 175, 170. But in the amateurs, you want to at least fight a weight class or 2 weight classes above, so you get used to fighting bigger guys. In the amateurs, just the amateurs, because you're fighting bigger belts anyway. You're fighting 12s or 10s, and then once you turn pro, you fight at the weight class you're supposed to fight at, and you should be on the popping right then and there. You be used to it. You should be able to move these guys around like it ain't nothing. Now I can say this for smaller guys, when they fight in bigger weight class and go in smaller weight class, they throw a lot more punches once you go in the smaller weight class, so they're a lot more faster. So I can say that. But when it comes to my weight class, is a lot different. So I fought at super middleweight in the amateurs. Now I'm at middleweight, which is the weight class below it. So them guys are a lot bigger in the amateurs. And the amateurs are different. You can be 7 pounds, 8 pounds heavier or lesser. Depends on the situation. Now pros, you got to be on that exact weight. Or sometimes you do +2, whatever case may be. Depends on how your opponent assess it, or depends if you're A side or B side. You know what I'm saying? Now, if your opponent comes in pro, I'm talking about pros right now, and they come in overweight, it depends on, most importantly, it depends on how heavy they come in. If they come in 3 or 4 pounds over and they're supposed to be 3 or 4 pounds, I give them 2 hours to cut it. If not, then we're going to deduct the point. We're going to deduct some money off for each pound. And then we're going to be each pound. So if he wanted bad enough, he'll get that weight off. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it work. If I worked hard to get down, you're going to work hard to get down. I ain't finna just accept nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys so quick in the rush. I don't want to fight. I don't care how much you weigh. That weight is important, because if he couldn't make it right then and there, he going to blow up and get extremely heavy. That's why, and I'm a big puncher, so a lot of guys, since I've been going out of the country, I've been fighting outside in Colombia a lot of times. We'll get this opponent and they'll switch it up last minute, which I don't care. I'm ready for it or whatever. I'll train extremely hard. But a lot of times you can tell the guy came in way heavier than he's supposed to come in on fight day. And I'm cool with that. And a lot of times we call it old school, where you call it weight bully, where if you're a big puncher, they try to outweigh you to where they can absorb and take the punches very well. You know what I'm saying? Which is smart, ain't nothing wrong with it, but all it does is make you slow. You know what I'm saying? Unless that's your sparring weight or something, you can still move around. That's cool and all. But other than that, that's all I can say on that.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate the insight too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Again, I'm no amateur nor pro, so this is good. This is good. I am a sparring champion. Last question, not even question, last thing. Anything you want to say? The floor is yours on this one. Any, you could do shout out, you could do whatever you want. Close us out on it.
Oh, like I said, shout out to mom and dad, my brother Ja'Cory, and my coach G and John. All these guys been here since day one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out.
Yes, sir. Oh, one more thing. Can you put your Instagram, say your Instagram and spell it out for me?
Oh, my Instagram is J50Russ, Jay number 5050, and Russ, all lowercase RUSS, it'll say Jayson D. Russell, Jayson Doreen Russell. I don't have him back on this shirt, but on my other shirt it say Doreen Boxing. But yeah, that's my name.
Yes, sir. And
Yes,
we're going to
sir.
be catching you soon. Hopefully we get invited to, one of them fights, especially out in Colombia, right, Coach? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
There we go. All right, my brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.